Hi, everyone. My name's Aubrey Wiest. I'm the Communications Coordinator at the Joseph Maley Foundation. Today, I'm here with Sam Pence. He is doing a fundraiser for the Joseph Maley Foundation. And so we're going to just do a really quick interview with him, talk about what he's doing, and we'll go from there. So let's see. My first question for you, Sam, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and then a little bit about the project that you're working on in general right now?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for this opportunity to sort of promote the music, and I'm really excited to be partnering with you guys to bring some more attention to the foundation. So my project is it's going to be an EP, which is like another name for just a really short album. So there's about 5 songs on it, and it'll be my third EP that I've done before. So I've done 2 in the past. They were released over the past 4 or 5 years, and this is mostly just like really easy listening, singer-songwriter, homemade type tracks that I really just make in my bedroom, and I record on some rudimentary recording equipment, and I share with friends and family however I can. And so yeah, that's the music. I grew up in Indiana. I went to Brebeuf Jesuit preparatory school with the Maley family. Got really close with Tony, their son, running cross country and a few other activities there at school. And I sort of got involved with the activities of the foundation throughout the years. I think first probably to fulfill some of my my community service requirements for school, but eventually because I really fell in love with the mission of the organization and the spirit of the people that staffed the foundation. And it was really, for me, the first time that I had seen like community service as like a personal thing. I'd always kind of viewed community service as something that other people did, or that you were just sort of supposed to do, obliged to do. It had never occurred to me as something that could be that's something that not only you could do yourself as sort of a lifelong activity in giving back to the community, but something that was incumbent upon you as a member of your community. And seeing this family, so enthusiastically take up this mission and sort of invite others to do the same through their enthusiasm really had an impact on me and made me want to dedicate my life to trying to find ways to serve my own communities. And so I really attribute a lot of like my career trajectory and just like the whole way I approach being a member of a community to JMF. And so I wanted to, especially during this time of COVID, when I know that you guys are having a difficult time putting on some of your events, including your flagship 5K, I wanted to see if I could maybe help out in some way.
Well, that's so lovely. Those are all some really amazing things. Yeah, I love JMF too, so I always love hearing kind of why people have come to us and why they support us. So that's lovely. Thank you for sharing that. So I kind of just want to ask you a little bit about music in general. So what do you love about creating music? How long did you do it as a child? Has it been like a long passion, or is it kind of something new that you picked up in your later adolescence? But really, why is it a passion, and what do you love about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for the question. So I started taking piano lessons when I was 7 years old. Like a lot of kids, my parents forced this on me, which I was very, I chafed a lot at that at the time, but now I'm very grateful for it. And so I did that for a few years, and then I started kind of writing my own music, and it was terrible. I never shared it with anybody. And then I wanted to become a bit more popular, and so I took up a more popular instrument, which was the guitar, in high school. And I started playing that, and that's when the songwriting juices started to flow a little bit more. And I started writing some music that I was slowly comfortable sharing with some other people in my life. And then I think I released my first EP of tracks my freshman year of college. And so once that happened and I put that out onto a platform called Bandcamp, and people were able to download, and even some people that I had never met were commenting on it, I sort of got bit by the bug, and I wanted to keep on sharing the tracks with the world. For me, it's just so cool to be able to create music and like put it down in digital formats and distribute it with people. I'm just like so in awe of like the technology behind that and our ability to do that in this day and age. And yeah, I mean, for me, songwriting it's just a hobby, honestly. It's just a personal passion. It's not something that I think I'm gonna make a life or a living out of, but I think the advantage of that, honestly, is that I don't have to try to please anybody, right? And I don't have to write songs for other people. And yeah, I'm really just doing it for the love of it. And so I do get to write whatever I want to write. Sometimes that results in me being maybe a bit too honest in my songwriting, but I think I'd rather err on the side of hyper vulnerability than the opposite. So yeah, for me, it's cathartic. It's an ability to connect with people, to build community in my own way, and to sort of yeah, put into practice this gift that I've been blessed with, to write music and share it with others, and hopefully edify them in some way.
Awesome. Well, that's great. That's lovely to hear. I love that you can kind of use it as an expression and be vulnerable with it, because being vulnerable and sharing that part of ourselves isn't always easy. So using it as an outlet like that is really great and really interesting, that you found that and can use it for that. So I know you've already kind of touched on this, but I just want to kind of ask you directly about why you decide to donate some or all of the proceeds from these EPs to nonprofits that you're passionate about. I know that you mentioned you've donated to other nonprofits in the past other than JMF. So I kind of just want to get a feel for why you do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, in the past, I donated the proceeds from my EPs to Riley Children's Hospital, also in Indianapolis. And so Riley was another organization that I was pretty deeply involved in, mostly through our dance marathons that we did in high school. And I was on the student government board, and we were sort of in charge of coordinating that. And so I really believe in their mission. I love kids. I have a soft spot for kids and families in need, and I wanted to make my music mean something, beyond just being something that called attention to me and allowed me to, I don't know, become more popular and gain some sort of currency in that way. Yeah, I wanted it to have an impact on the world in some other way. And so I decided I would do that, and raised like a few $100s over those two EPs. And I was just like, I was really happy with that. And it made me feel like my music was something that is going to have impacts that I will never be able to really perceive. And, I think that's what any artist wants for their music, right? They want it to touch people in ways that no other thing really can. They want it to have a unique impact. And so the other reason I think it's important for me to do it is, again, because this way I'm not writing it for the money, right? I'm not doing it for anything other than just the pure passion of the songwriting. And so by donating the proceeds to another organization, that makes sure that my focus it remains on the purity and the integrity of the art rather than something else. So yeah, I guess why JMF this time around? like I said, I have this sort of history with JMF, and I got an email about the 5K being canceled, the walk, run, roll, and that just like made me really sad because I remember doing that back when I was in Indiana, back in high school, and having it just be like a wonderful opportunity to give back and to meet people, meet other runners, be part of a community. And I really don't want to see that disappear. I know that we can't gather in that way right now physically, but I don't want to see vehicles and mechanisms for allowing that gathering to occur disappear from the community that really raised me, that I still call home, and that I attribute so many of my values and passions to.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird year. We actually did our Run Walk Roll virtually this year, which was the first time ever. And we really missed being together, as everyone's kind of missing right now. But yeah, it was good. It was very, very cool to see people from all across the country be able to participate this year. But we can't wait to be all back together. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the next year we'll be able to do that. So you mentioned a little bit your history with JMF. Could you kind of expand on that? Were you involved in our Joseph Maley Friends puppet troupe, or maybe our junior board, just so that and personally, I just kind of am curious, but so that our audience can kind of see that growth throughout JMF.
Yeah. So I was on the junior board briefly. I think I did it my senior year of high school. I don't remember having any like significant contributions to JMF's operations during that time, but again, like an opportunity to sort of be part of a community of like-minded individuals and see what it looked like to be giving back in this more like intentional way than just like doing some community service for like a few hours on a Saturday, right? It was a bit more structured. So that was a great opportunity. I really credit Mrs. Maley for that opportunity. That was really important to her, I remember. Getting as many people from her children's friend groups and just like her community in general involved in that more sort of structured giving back process. So I did that, did the walk run rolls, and I do remember going to like some of those like Saturday and like weekend community service events, but I don't quite remember what those were. But always wonderful experiences, great memories with JMF, obviously, to this day.
Awesome. Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of my curiosity as well, but is there a song from this upcoming EP that you're especially proud of or excited to release or to show people?
Ooh, that's a great question. Yeah, I would say the first song from the EP is one that I'm really excited about. It's a song about my mom. She actually passed away when I was young, and I've struggled basically all my life since then to really write a song that I think like honestly captures what I feel and what kind of a person she was. And so I think I've written a song about her on my other EPs, on both of them, and I wasn't really satisfied with either of them. They sort of felt cheesy or forced or contrived in some way. This one I'm really excited about because it doesn't feel like any of those things, and it really, like, I wrote it in, I think, like an afternoon, and so it just came out really naturally. And so I'm very excited for people to receive that and to, in some small way, be touched by her spirit. So yeah, really looking forward to that.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's kind of going back to the last thing or a couple of questions ago when you said that you use this as like something to share your to be vulnerable about. And that must be really difficult, but I'm sure very cathartic at the same time. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the
Um,
question.
Absolutely, yeah. So I only got two more questions, so I won't keep you much longer. But when people listen to your music, what do you hope they come away with? Do you hope they come away with a certain feeling, or is it just that you hope they enjoy it? Is there something that you're trying to convey to your audience through your music?
Yeah. Well, there's certainly something I'm trying to convey. Um, but one thing I do love about, I guess, just art in general is that the, the content is open to so many different interpretations, and that goes especially with the lyrics. So I think like the idea of writing a line and having somebody interpret it in a way that you never intended, but that like touches them or moves them or inspires them in some way that you never could have foreseen. I think that's so beautiful. And so, yeah, I mean, I have hopes for the ways that my music speaks to people, but I think at the end of the day, those hopes are very specific to my own mind and very limited in that way. And so I think like the possibilities outside of my mind and outside of my original intentions are really like that's where the magic is. And so that's where I'm most excited. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, I think it does. I think that's a great answer. Because as artists or as someone who creates things, you can have an intention or you can have a thought behind a product or a piece of art or what you're showing people, but you can't control the experience that people have had that they bring to that art piece or the memories that they bring to it, or it's all very dependent on the person's own life and their own mind. So I think that's a great answer. Absolutely. Okay, so finally, can you please just tell our audience where they can find your EP, when generally you'll be releasing it, so that they kind of can keep an eye out for that?
Yes. So I don't have a release date, an exact release date. I should have one, but I don't. It's probably going to come out. Well, it's going to come out whenever I'm done with recording the vocals on this last track. But I'm hoping that that's done by about the middle of next month. So hopefully, like an August 20th or so release date. But I'll let you guys know as we get closer to that what the progress looks like. And you can find it on a platform called Bandcamp.com. So this is a platform that doesn't take, it takes like the smallest cut possible and then gives all the rest of the money back to the artist, which in my case will be going to JMF. And also it doesn't require like all the fancy mixing and mastering and like noise or volume modifications required on more esteemed platforms like Spotify or iTunes and stuff. So also I don't have to pay to put it on the platform in the first place. So camp.com, you can stream it there, you can download, and I think you can download for free if you want, but you can also name whatever price you want. So you can donate $5 for it, you can donate 50, whatever you'd like.
Okay, awesome, very cool. And we will keep everyone up to date on JMF social media about the release date. We will post about it. So hopefully once that comes out, once you figure out exactly once you get the vocals done and everything, we will let our audience know. And we can't wait. I can't wait for sure to see it. And I'm sure that you're excited to release it. So yeah, well, thank you, Sam, so much for spending some of your time today to chat with me about this. I know everyone at JMF is very thankful for the support that you're giving us. We appreciate anybody who's taking the time or the effort or anything to give to us in that way, in that capacity. So thank you so much for both that as well.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate all the work you do, and it's a pleasure to be associated in any way with your name. So keep up the great work.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, bye.
Bye, Aubrey.